Hi everyone, I'm Liz.
I'm Cody.
And welcome to Unit 10, Compensation Clarity. So when you're trying to get a job and going to an interview, many people say not to bring up salary when you're in that first interview. The companies want to know what you can bring to the table, and they don't necessarily want to tell you what they're going to do for you.
Bring to the table.
Bring to the table.
But after you've gone through all of this trouble of interviews, sometimes multiple interviews, and researching and sending your resumes and doing all this stuff, you might actually get the job and find out that the salary is not nearly as much as you might have expected it to be. And sometimes they might even tell you that you have to work for free for the first, trial period of a couple of months or a month or something like that. So to prevent this whole situation, New York City has made a pay disclosure law. So when a company is advertising for jobs that are available, they have to put a salary range. They don't have to necessarily put a specific salary, but a rough range of what you would make if you entered the company doing that job.
Disclosure.
Disclosure.
And they think that it will, for one, help to reduce the pay gap between men and women, and probably also, the racial discrepancies between pay, because everybody goes into it knowing kind of about how much they should be making for that job. And we'll talk about the company side in the review. But do you know what the average salary is in the US?
Let's check it for the US.
Okay. How about Korea?
Actually, I don't know that one either. I think it's 34 million won. Close to that, I think is the average.
Might be something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's around maybe 40,000 in the US. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was thinking 45 to 50 in
Somewhere
the US.
in there, yeah.
But I know if you're under 30,000 in America or 26, you're definitely poverty. You're too low. Now, as a single person making that much, it doesn't classify as poverty necessarily. But salary, it really depends on your state. Now, I do know
It's true, it does vary very much by state.
Right. Now, do you ever talk about how much you make with your friends? Do they talk to you about that?
I have absolutely no idea. Honestly, I have a younger sister. I don't even know how much she makes.
Oh, okay.
No, I do know kind of the range because she has a titled position in a well-known company, and you can go on various websites and find out about how much those people make. Yeah. But I've never discussed it with my sister. I've never discussed it with my friends. I know what jobs they do, and I can kind of imagine how much they make, but honestly, I have absolutely no idea. Do you discuss that with your friends or family?
Sometimes, mostly because my one friend who talks about it a lot, he's looking for jobs. He switched a few times from Boeing to this other company. Now he's at this a third company. I don't know the name, but he willingly talks about this. This is what the offer was for the annual income. I countered this, etc.
Right.
And my friend who works for the government talks about his, and you can find out through the government what they make.
If a government worker, they have levels and all of that, so you can find out pretty easily.
Right. Any publicly funded organization or government agency, you can find out what they make. You can find out what your professors make. So I used to, when I took a class, find out how much my professor made in Texas, because you can access that data. It's quite interesting. Yeah, I feel bad for some professors, let's say. Yeah. You have to wait a while to make more money.
You do. Professors don't make as much as you might think they do.
They do not.
They have a lot of education, a lot of debt.
Yes.
Not that high a salary. And now for the language focus. The first point is, it's time for. So for example, it's time for people to think about how their consumption affects the environment.
And for mine, more plus adjective or adverb plus than one would like to admit.
Okay.
So for my example, I eat sweets more often than I would like to admit.
Me too. Okay, and that's all for the preview of Unit 10, Compensation Clarity. We'll see you in the review.